After the end of the world, things are going to get rough. How will you ever make it through without some form of currency? If you have no idea what to stock up on, here are 15 things that will still have value after the apocalypse. We agree with Jenna Woodmansey. If Norman Reedus had the real skills of Daryl Dixon, he probably would have made it on this list as one of the most valuable things after the apocalypse. We can dream, right? Number 15. Toilet paper. Whether or not we will have a supply of toilet paper that survived the apocalypse is something we won't know until it happens. However, based on what we've seen in the aftermath of many different catastrophic disasters, is that people will do whatever they have to do to get the things they need as fast as they can. While that does include things to satisfy the needs of water, food, and shelter, it also includes the minor luxuries like paper to wipe your bottom. Trust us, if you have managed to find yourself some TP in the middle of this crisis, you won't want to sell it, unless it was for something dire like water. If you have an extra shelf in your fallout bunker, make sure you stock up on plenty of toilet paper. You'll be thanking us later. Number 14. Survival, camping gear, tools, or homesteading items. Survival gear, camping equipment, regular or specialty tools, or any sort of item that can help a homestead will be a lot more valuable after tragedy strikes. Just like with the toilet paper, you do need to make sure that these items survive and that you're able to use them. Having a tool that can't do what it's meant to do is useless. Having tools and the like are super important for some pretty obvious reasons. 1. You can repair or build a shelter a whole lot easier if you have access to tools. 2. You can craft different things to help aid you in your survival, such as a water purifier or a wood-burning stove. And 3. You can use tools to help others, which gives you something to barter with. But we'll have more on trade skills later on. Number 13. Children. How barbaric, right? But where do you think the next generation is going to come from if not from kids? Yes, they may be a huge hassle during the aftermath, but if they survived until adulthood and managed to eventually create their own offspring, then they will have helped humanity continue. Regardless of what age the kid is, whether an infant or even a teenager, each one will be needed to create the civilization of the new world. You just have to make sure they live long enough to actually grow up. Number 12. Books and entertainment. If people don't have things to occupy their time or distract them during a crisis, they tend to go mad, like literally insane. Obviously, if someone in your survival group goes crazy, everyone's at risk. However, you can try to prevent these things from ever happening by having some form of entertainment. Now, things like movies, gaming systems, app games, and pretty much anything electronic won't work, so they'll be useless. Although you could, in theory, have a DVD setup with a bunch of disc movies. If you had a generator or a way to power the TV and DVD player, you'd be able to watch the videos that way. But your best bet is a book. Books are compact forms of entertainment. You don't need a setup or anything other than your eyes and your imagination to have a good time. Other forms of entertainment that would be good to have after the world ends are things like board games, cards, books, and musical instruments. Number 11. Candles and heating sources. Pretty much no matter where you live or where you ended up, it's going to get cold. Maybe not all the time. And maybe you won't get 5 feet of snow, but you still need a source of light and a source of heat. Obviously, you need light to be able to see, especially after the sun goes down, but you also need heat, not only to keep yourself warm enough to stay alive, but it can be used to ward off predators and unfriendly wildlife, and of course, be used for cooking too. Having long burning candles is the best form of light to have if you can't get a hold of a solar powered lantern flashlight combo. You should try to get a box or two of extra candles so that you could potentially trade them for much needed supplies if the time comes. Number 10. Clothing and shoes. One of our best forms of protection against the elements is our clothing and shoes. There are times that both are vital to our survival. Certainly, a fully dressed person with shoes is going to last a lot longer than someone who's running around naked. It's just common sense. If you can repair clothing or possibly make items from scratch, you just became all that more valuable. People are going to need things to wear, and they're going to need a place to get them. Get ahead today and teach yourself how to sew, just in case disaster strikes. Number 9. Alcohol. Alcohol is a valuable resource for 2 reasons: getting drunk and being used as an antiseptic. Just like we mentioned before regarding the whole have entertainment or go crazy thing, alcohol can be used as a form of entertainment. You can drink away the sorrows of losing everyone you once cared about. Just make sure you don't get so wasted that you decide to take your own life. It's been done before, so don't say we didn't warn you. Another, possibly more important reason to keep alcohol around after the apocalypse is because of its medicinal properties. It's an amazing disinfectant, and in the new world where you can't just call an ambulance to take you to the doctors in a hospital, it seems like an item that you should have a lot of. Number 8. Weapons, ammo, and armor. After the world ends, there won't be any laws or police to enforce them, and things will be dangerous. It will truly be a dog-eat-dog world out there with the ultimate goal of survival and taking whatever you have without question. Regardless of how you feel about weapons like guns, having one with ammo will increase your chances of survival tenfold. In order for your guns to have a purpose, they need ammo, so make sure you stock up. Yes, the value of ammo after the apocalypse will skyrocket, but this is an item that would be best if you simply hoarded it to yourself. Hand in hand with weapons and ammo is armor. All three work together to keep you safe and alive after disaster strikes. Number 7. Food and seeds, especially spices. We've known forever that we humans need food to survive. The end of the world won't change that fact. In fact, since food will be a lot harder to come by, its value goes to skyrocket. And not just food you can eat right now either. All types and forms of food will be readily sought after. Seeds will be needed to grow new crops if the land will allow it, and additives like spices and sugar will be highly coveted items. Spices like salt can be used to season food, as well as preserve certain foods for a decent amount of time. If you are concerned with food preparation and storage after the world ends, just look up some of the techniques that pioneers used back before there were types of food storage that we have now. It will give you some ideas of how to make your food survive long enough to actually feed you. Number 6. Gasoline and fuel for power. This idea sort of goes along the lines of number 11, but it's still an item that will have value after the world is dead and gone. Gasoline and other fuels can be used to power a vehicle to relocate or just to get food. They can be used as a heating source to stay warm on freezing nights. The fuel can also be used to cook or even power a generator, which can pretty much do whatever you want it to. There are dozens of uses for gasoline during the apocalypse, and as with most things on this list, it's a commodity you can always trade for something more useful. Number 5. Medicine. In a world without doctors or proper medical care, having a fat stash of medicine is only going to help you out. Antibiotics such as amoxicillin and penicillin are especially useful as are painkillers, both prescription and generic. Medicine is, besides water and ammo, one of the most fought over items in an emergency. Just think of how many movies you've seen where someone died because they didn't give up medicine to that person's dying relative. Keeping loved ones and yourself alive is the most important goal, so make sure that you guard your medicine wisely and use it only when you need it most. It's not like there'll be stores around where you can go and buy some more. Number 4. Jewels, precious metals, and rare substances. Some people speculate whether or not things like the rare slime in this picture, precious materials, precious metals, and jewelry will still hold value after the end of the world. We think that while considered one of the rarest substances in the world, this slime isn't going to get you very far in terms of trade. Even though things like paper and coin currency will be something of the past, precious metals are here to stay. There are things like food, water, and ammo that will have a higher value than precious metals, diamonds, or jewels, but there will still be people out there that will want to have the shiny things for themselves. Number 3. Trade skills. If you're trained in a skill that can easily transfer into the new world, props to you. You're already a step ahead of the rest of us. It's common sense just to think about it. If you had 2 people in front of you and one didn't have any skills and the other used to build houses, but you only had enough to pay one person, obviously you would pick the one that had a skill that would benefit you. Having certain skills like being a doctor or nurse, a farmer, a seamstress, even a security guard could be the difference between life and death. If your campsite was raided, do you think they would kill a doctor over a regular person? Probably not. You might be enslaved at that point, but at least you're still alive. We aren't saying that learning a trade will for sure keep you alive, but it is something that would definitely help, and it's something that can be traded for whatever you might need. Number 2. Knowledge. Knowledge is power, by most people's standards. And this will be true even after the apocalypse happens. The best way to get useful knowledge now is through reading books and materials that focus on survival, long-term homesteading, crafting, and trade skills. Read anything that you can get your hands on. If you can't afford to buy books, go to a library or look for resources online. If there are classes that train you on these topics, go to them. Make sure you go to a shooting range and learn basic gun manipulation inside and out. Learn about basic medical tricks and a few military tactics in case you get captured. Learn how to grow food and purify water. Knowledge is one thing that can be obtained for free. You just have to be willing to go out and apply yourself. Number 1. Purified drinking water. Humans need water to survive, point blank. Without water, we would die in just a few days. Unfortunately for us, we require purified water to stay hydrated and alive, which is even harder to come by. Since it's the most valuable thing we have on the planet right now, it'll only get more valuable once it's harder to obtain. Having purified drinking water is not necessary for your own survival, but it is the most valuable thing you can use to trade. However, just like a few other things in this video, this is a commodity that we would not suggest trading away. You never know when you'll be able to replenish your supply or find some more water. If you find yourself in a situation that you must trade your water, make sure you don't give away your hiding spot, or else you're a goner.
Hey there, hope you liked it. Stay tuned for more Bored Badger.
More better.